Is owning a Tesla as amazing as people say? After 6 months driving one, I have some things you need to know. Some good and some not so much.
Hey, quick heads up, I'm giving something away just to thank you for watching. Just follow the steps. Super easy. Subscribe, hit like, and drop your Instagram in the comments. Good luck!
Okay, so let's start with the big picture. Honestly, it's been amazing. The first thing that hits you is how fun, fast, smooth and quiet the drive is. No vibration, no engine noise, it's really unique. And the amount of tech in each detail is mind-blowing. When it comes to range, I have no complaints at all, but I'll dive on my charging routine in a minute. The interior is quite nice, the design is very minimal and functional, the panoramic roof is also amazing, the wide seats are very wide and looks great. The internal space is really good too. The front and the trunk offer plenty of space to carry stuff, which makes traveling a breeze. So let's talk performance. The acceleration of this car is insane. Even in the standard version, like mine, it truly feels like a rocket. It's impressive how it reaches 0 to 100 in just a few seconds. Handling is also amazing, because the car is so low and the battery pack being on the bottom, the center of gravity is really close to the road, and all that makes you feel really safe and in control. One of the biggest questions people have is, how's the range? It's a bit hard to answer that because I never get to 0% battery, but on the screen, it shows a range of about 400 kilometers, depending on how I drive. My charging routine for the first 4 months owning this car was pretty amazing, and it was almost 100% for free. I used to charge twice a week at the office and sometimes at shopping malls that had free destination charges. Nowadays, it's been harder and harder to find these free chargers, so my best option has been going to superchargers, which get from 20 to 80% in about 20 minutes. At least here in Australia, it's cheaper than paid stations at shopping malls. However, I live in an apartment building that doesn't have a charger in the garage. This means I have to rely entirely on external charging options. While this is manageable, is something to consider if you're thinking on getting an EV. The Tesla supercharger network is growing, but not as fast as I'd like here in Australia. You can rely on other networks, which aren't as fast as Tesla's, but still quite good and usually more expensive. And depending on where you're traveling to, you might get the perk of free charging, like destination chargers in hotels or even just a power outlet in an Airbnb, which has happened to me before. There's nothing better than going on a trip, enjoying your stay, and coming back with a full tank for free.
Now let's talk about the interior. The design is quite minimal. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm a big fan. There's almost no buttons. Everything happens in this massive 15-inch screen. And being a UX designer myself, I can say that Tesla takes really seriously the user experience. The panoramic roof is awesome and we love it. But during the Australian summer, when the temperatures are crazy high, it can get really hot in here. I think maybe because I'm bald and taller, I can feel the heat from the glass more. My wife doesn't seem to mind it at all. The AC cools the car down super fast, but on the top of my head, it takes a little longer. That's why I always keep a cap in the car to protect myself from the heat. But I'll be honest, I was super hesitant on the white seat before I get the car. I kept thinking, am I gonna regret it? Before pulling the trigger, I saw this crazy video where someone literally threw beads on the white seats of the Tesla, and they just wiped right off. And I was like, okay, problem solved. That's it for me. And honestly, no regrets so far. For everyday use, I keep the chargers in the trunk along with my jiu-jitsu gear and gym bag. And in this little compartment here, I stash some reusable shopping bags for groceries. It's super practical. One thing that blew me away right from the start is the autopilot feature. They call it adaptive cruise control, which I literally use every day. Basically, it keeps the car at the speed you set while maintaining a safe distance from the car in front. If the car ahead slows down, the Tesla slows down too. And if they speed up, it accelerates back to the speed you've set. Then there's auto steer, which keeps the car centered in the lane even on curves, as long as the road markings are clear. The software gets updated pretty often, always fixing minor bugs and adding new features. For example, they added YouTube Music, Amazon Music, and Apple Music, which is my go-to app when listening to music. One new feature I really like is the lower volume on reverse. Parking chimes didn't come enabled on my Tesla, but I think they're useful, so I kept them on. Personally, I find the front chimes unnecessary when I'm driving or parking. Another cool update is the ability to adjust the passenger seat from the Tesla screen. And honestly, there are so many cool updates that I could talk about. Maybe I'll do a dedicated video just for that. Now, the sound system is really impressive. Even though my Model 3 doesn't have a subwoofer, the 8-inch door woofers deliver a solid bass. One thing that really bugs me is not having a charger at home. But this is not the car's fault. It's my apartment building. Another challenge is that my parking spot is on the third basement, and as soon as I drive down, I lose the internet signal. It's a bit frustrating because the music cuts out after just one level. I really wish Apple Music had an option to download songs for offline use. That will totally solve the problem. Also, when I'm leaving the building and need navigation, I have to wait until I'm out of the building and drive for a few minutes before the car reconnects to the internet. Until then, only my favorite maps work. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a bit annoying. If Tesla allowed offline maps, it would be a game changer for people like me.
If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, leave a comment and subscribe. Catch you on the next one.